Hey, I'm Mr. Eric Watson, and I'd like to share with you on personal finance and how a financial coach can help. But first, a little bit about me. I'm a Dave Ramsey preferred financial coach here in Bowie, Maryland. I'm also a retired Marine Corps pilot and a federal project manager. So you may ask, what qualifies me to coach anyone in personal finance? Well, I would say the fact that I've made quite a few mistakes financially in my lifetime and have learned quite a bit from them. That's a little bit of a qualifying factor. And I always believe that failure paves the way to success. And Lord knows I've had my share of failures. Now, my training as a Dave Ramsey preferred coach also helps with my qualifications, but I've been advising friends and family for years on personal finance before I became a coach based on the lessons that I personally learned along the way. Now, a quick story about me. When I was a young Marine, my wife and I accumulated several investment properties in Southern California. Now, this is when the real estate market was booming back in the mid 2000s, but we were over leveraged using no money down, interest only loans. Now, we did have a plan. The market was going up rapidly, and we planned to refinance in fixed rate mortgages after the values went up so much that we had 20% equity in the homes. So we thought we had it all worked out until values went down and the interest rates went up for a short time, but we couldn't afford to pay the difference between the rent we were collecting and the mortgage we owed. So we had to short sell everything we had. Our business income was completely cut off, and we had to make some serious financial changes. Now, many of you may know that finances are the leading cause of stress in any relationship. We had plenty of stress in the Watson household at that time. Now, luckily, I was still an active duty Marine and had a reliable income. So we were able to systematically pay off all of our debt over time and leverage our entrepreneurial efforts to get back on top of our finances. But we had some scary times. So you may ask why I tell you that story. I share that to show that many people get in tough financial situations, not necessarily out of neglect, but because sometimes life happens. Many times people don't know where to turn or what to do when they're in those situations. And that's where a financial coach comes into play. Now, sometimes it can feel impossible or confusing to get to your dream financial future, whether you're trying to eliminate debt, pay off your home early, or give more money philanthropically. A financial coach can help you create a plan that sets you up to win with money. Now, the fact of the matter is, statistically, 7 out of 10 couples and many, many more singles do not budget consistently. Now, a budget is critical to drafting your plan to achieve wealth. It is your roadmap to success. And when I think of a budget, I think about when I was a young Marine in the basic school. And this is where young Marine officers learn about the different aspects of the Marine Corps and how to conduct themselves as officers before going off to specialized training. And one of the evolutions in the basic school is land navigation. You're given a map, a compass, and you're dropped at a starting point. You have to look at the map, orient yourself, and assess where you are and plot a course to get to another designated location. You have to determine your direction and assess obstacles you'll face en route to that destination. Well, that's how I see a budget. You have to assess where you are financially, determine your financial direction, and plan out debt payments along the way. It helps you assess some of the financial obstacles you can expect along the way to wealth. A budget is essential, and I hate to keep referring back to my days in the Marine Corps, but once a Marine, always a Marine, right? However, because of that, statistically, 78% of people live paycheck to paycheck. As an example, do you recall the federal furloughs in 2013 and 2018? Every day, the news interviewed multiple people who had no idea how they would pay their rent or their mortgage after missing just one check. Now, even some high earning families are living paycheck to paycheck now because we all want to increase our standard of living when we make more money. And we all like to have nice things, right? But we tend to leverage debt in order to get there. Now, here's another stat: 66% of Americans would struggle to pay for a $1,000 emergency without going into debt. What does that tell you? People don't have any emergency funds set aside just in case. And many people are in these situations because they just don't know. They don't have a strategy on how to get themselves out of the situation they're in. We get ourselves into these situations and just don't know how to fix them. I know I didn't at first. It took me a while to learn what I needed to do to get back on my feet financially. Now, that brings us to another major area of focus when it comes to personal finance, and that's debt elimination. We live in a society where it is taught that being in debt is okay. But if you think back a couple of generations, it was almost considered a sin to be in debt. Now we rush to improve our credit scores so we can go out and do what? Accumulate more debt. Think about this. The mean credit card debt of U.S. households is approximately $5,700. And the average credit card interest rate is around 18.6% for new offers and 15.1% for existing accounts. So an average household is paying 15 to 18% interest on $5,700 of debt on a monthly basis. Think about that. That debt is a thief that is stealing so many people's money and they don't even realize it. Now, according to Proverbs 22:7, the rich rule over the poor and the borrower is slave to the lender. Now, I'm willing to look past the rich ruling over the poor part, but I can't get beyond the borrower being slave to the lender. I'm not big on being a slave. And this speaks honestly about the relationship between a debtor and a creditor. I think God wants us to have freedom and options. Many of us have a sense God calling us to do great things, but when we're in debt, we can't do all that we'd like. So, how can a financial coach help? A solid financial coach will help you create a plan for your financial future. This would include things like creating a budget, which is the first thing to address with any client, creating a plan for paying down debt, a plan for emergency savings, saving for retirement, saving for kids' college funds, paying off your home, and eventually building wealth. And a solid coach will provide a systematic approach to accomplishing all of these things. A financial coach can work with you on your financial mindset because personal finance is 80% behavior and 20% head knowledge. Many people have a good idea of what they should be doing when it comes to their personal finances, but just don't know how to go about it, or they just don't do it at all. So it's a coach's job to first understand your situation, provide you with information that can help improve that situation, and inject hope into your scenario. A financial coach can also act as your accountability partner as you transition through the different phases of building wealth. A solid coach will not always tell people what they want to hear because it's their job to be a straight shooter. They shouldn't claim to have all the answers to everyone's situation. And before I go on, I want to make sure I elaborate on what a financial coach is not. A financial coach is not a financial planner. A coach does not offer any product to purchase. A coach works at the strategic level to provide a plan moving forward. But a solid coach will have a network of subject matter experts who can assist with things like insurance, investing, tax strategies, wills, estate planning, etc. They all work together to get clients on the path to financial freedom and keep them there. Do I think everyone needs a financial coach? No. Not at all. Some people are knowledgeable enough to work things out themselves. And honestly, some people just plain old don't want help. And that's fine. But a coach is there to help those who need and want to work out a strategy for their financial future. So, if you'd like to take control of your finances today and leverage the assistance of a financial coach, let's talk. The name of my coaching business is TE3 Coaching. That's the letter T, the letter E, the number 3, Coaching Solutions. And you can also reach out to me on my Facebook site at TE3 Coaching. And whether you leverage my services or not, please, please, please be disciplined in your money management. Thank you for your time.